Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live pop-up chat, and today we have some updates. So, in the absence, basically, of lots of royal engagements, normally by now we would have, jam-packed, full, kind of going into spring schedule of royal engagements going on. Instead, because of what's going on in the world right now, we have very much a reduced amount of anything going on, which I think everybody can completely understand. We had the announcement a few days ago about the Queen kind of stepping back and eventually obviously moving to Windsor, where she will remain for the foreseeable future, but this is in constant review. And I remember yesterday, I think it may have been yesterday. Do you know what? I'm getting my days completely mixed up. But at some point, one of you asked me in the comments. I had a viewer comment saying, "How will this affect Princess Beatrice's wedding?" And I said yesterday, well, it could be more of a reduced occasion. And sure enough, we have an update on that. So, as always, this is a live chat, so I will be talking to you guys. I will be reading and answering as many viewer comments and questions as is possible. I can see lots of channel members already in the room. Gangster Gran, Christine, Cindy, Elderly Poodle, Gessie, Leanne, Debbie. Hello to all of you who have just joined the chat room. So, without further ado, I am going to read a statement from Buckingham Palace that was released to the press today regarding Princess Beatrice's May the 29th wedding to fiancé Edoardo Mapelli Mozzi. So, the statement in full reads, Princess Beatrice and Mr. Mapelli Mozzi are very much looking forward to getting married, but are equally aware of the need to avoid undertaking any unnecessary risks in the current circumstances. In line with government advice for the UK and beyond, the couple are reviewing their arrangements for the 29th of May. They are particularly conscious of government advice in relation to both the well-being of older family members and large gatherings of people. Therefore, the planned reception in the Buckingham Palace Gardens will not take place. The couple will carefully consider government advice before deciding whether a private marriage might take place amongst a small group of family and friends. Now, obviously, this is a big shift in the life of Princess Beatrice. Although obviously she was planning a more reduced and scaled back wedding, a more private wedding than sister Princess Eugenie, when she married Jack Brooksbank. Obviously that was in Windsor, St George's Chapel. They had a big carriage ride and procession and all the rest of it. It was filmed for TV. This wedding was always going to be a lot more private, but it seems like it's going to have to be reduced even further due to what's going on in the world. Let's just dissect what we've just kind of read. So, Princess Beatrice and Mr. Mapelli Mozzi are very much looking forward to getting married. So, they are still going to get married. That is something that we can take from this statement. They are definitely 100% at the moment still getting married. But they want to avoid unnecessary risks in the current circumstances. And they are obviously taking the government advice, and the government in the UK are taking their advice from all the scientists in relation to, and we keep hearing about it, in relation to where we are on this curve. I like this bit in the statement. It says they are particularly conscious of government advice in relation to both the well-being of older family members and large gatherings of people. So yes, the government are advising against large gatherings of people here in the UK. And the bit that I really like is that they are respecting the older generation. Obviously, they know that the Queen, Prince Philip would likely have obviously gone to this as well. There are lots of family members over the age of 70, and I know we've probably got a lot of viewers. A lot of my friends here on the internet are probably over the age of 70. But in terms of what's going on in the world right now, the government are classing older people as being over 70. Personally, you know where I am on this. I think everything's kind of shifted by about 10 years. You know, 50 is the new 40 and 60 is the new 50 and all that business. 70 is not old, but in terms of how you can be affected by this, Charles is 70, Camilla's over that. There are a lot of family members who are in this scientific at risk category. So I think it is particularly good of them to be considering that. Something else that we did learn is we knew we had the announcement that the Buckingham Palace, that the reception was going to be at Buckingham Palace, but we didn't know that it was going to be in the Buckingham Palace gardens. It may have been in the ballroom of Buckingham Palace, but no, this confirms it was going to take place in the gardens, possibly with a marquee, that kind of thing. So that is now not going to take place. They are still seeking advice, probably closer up to the time, as to whether a private marriage might take place amongst a small group of family and friends. So again, just a very, very much reduced gathering than what they were planning. I'm going to go now to the comments and just see what people are saying. I do think, on the whole, that this is a very sensible thing to do. Jean K says, I'm in St. Louis. Whole family is social distancing. Teens are back from college. Their dorms are closed. Remote classes are in session. Yes, schools are being prepped in the UK, ready for remote classrooms. But they are not shut yet here in the UK. The government, in its almighty wisdom, has decided that in the UK we're not at the right point on this curve that they are determining. So we haven't got school closures at the moment. Schools are closing in the UK, but only because staffing levels have gone down. And also some parents have been taking their children out of school. But officially, in terms of government advice, the schools are still open as of making this video, although that could imminently change at any moment. Duchess of St Andrews says, praying for the continued safety and wellness of you, Matt, and your near and family and friends. The same for me goes to you. Stay safe. I pray for your safety in this time, and also your mental health as well, because there will be a lot of people in the category where they will have to self-isolate at some point, if you're not doing that already. And it is very, very important to keep yourself busy, to keep active. I mean, the internet is such a wonderful thing. I mean, this is where kind of the internet, YouTube, social media really do come into their own, because you're not alone. Even if you are just a single person in a household and you're not lucky enough to have someone else there, you can go onto YouTube, you can chat with communities. I have my own community page on Facebook, Royal Reviewer and Friends. You have to click and request to join and answer 3 questions. But there are so many people that are willing to help and be friends. So yes, I think this is where social media, the plus points, there are a lot of bad about social media, but the plus points of social media can really come out, because you do not have to be alone. There are people out there, there's Skype conversations, there's obviously the telephone, and there is, our community out there of people that want to help and want to prevent you from being and feeling isolated. Lucille says, are you on a diet? You look skinny. Well, I'm liking skinny. Do I look skinny? Thank you. You can come again. Jean K says, we need you more than ever, at least twice a day. Well, I am going to go on my other channel, Steps of Sussex, almost immediately after I finish this video. So I will be on there as well. Hello to everyone who is just making it. We have 201 people in the chat room, so hello to you all. Gangster Grand says, poor sweet Beatrice. I know, this wedding for Beatrice has been a massive uphill struggle. It really has been an uphill struggle. She's kind of faced criticisms and things going on with Prince Andrew and criticism, and now this, and I mean, yeah, things have been pretty big for her, I think, right now. Jean Kay says, it will be beautiful. Their reception will take place in better times when the situation is under control. Yes, they could do that. They could still get married with a really reduced, small ceremony. And then maybe next year, when things are better, they could have a big party. They could almost have like a big reception, a big 1-year anniversary party maybe, in the Buckingham Palace gardens. Christine says, poor Beatrice, a shame her plans have to change again. I mean, personally, what would you do? I don't know. Leave me a comment. What would you do in her situation? I think, personally, if it was me, if I was Princess Beatrice, I think I would probably postpone the whole thing until I could have everything the way I wanted it all together. That's probably personally what I would do, but you know, everyone's different, and I'm sure she just wants to kind of press on and just get the wedding done. Leslie, hello, says take care of myself. I am trying. I did wake up a little bit under the weather this morning. I didn't sleep very well, but I think what it is I'm worried. I think for the first time in all of this, I think I've stayed fairly calm in all of this, but I'm actually now quite worried about everything. And also, having a partner that works in a school is also quite worrying when those schools are not shut. And I understand the government reasons at the moment as to why they are keeping the schools open. I don't agree with them, but I understand them. I understand the logic in it. But on a personal note, I do not think that teachers should be the kind of sacrificial people in all of this. There are so many people that work in schools, not just the teachers, but also the office and admin staff, the support staff, the teaching assistants, the learning support assistants, the caterers, the cleaners, the children themselves gathering. It's a large gathering. The parents dropping off and picking up. It's a breeding ground. It's a breeding ground. And I don't think that teachers should be this kind of the sacrifice people in all of this. And it's worrying me because people are going off in schools with sicknesses and illnesses possibly relating to this, and that could potentially be brought back home to me, and I don't see why I should be subjected to that. So for the first time, I think I am actually worried, and that's stressing me out, and I didn't sleep very well last night. I've been very, very tired today, but I have been productive. I've cleaned out all my cupboards and done things. So no, I don't think I'm presenting any symptoms as of yet, but, you know, hey, I'm worried. You know, this could be brought inadvertently into my home, and I don't like it. So personally, I think it's time to shut and close the schools. Let's scoot down to the bottom. Janice says all of our schools and post-secondary education facilities are closed here in Saskatchewan. Many businesses have closed as well. Auntie Dee says they need to shut the schools down. Schools are closed in Canada, says Sherry. Eldy Poole says, I understand about the schools. Yeah, it's a worry. It is a worry. It's a worry to me. Cindy says, regarding to Princess Beatrice, I would go get married and have a huge party when I could. Jean Kay says, being Edo might want to be married for now. The celebrations can take place in the summer. Yeah. Elizabeth Joyner says, hospital ship set up on its way to New York Harbour. Wow. Wow, a hospital ship. It really is like we are in wartime. Laurie says, poor Beatrice, I feel so sad for her. She deserves better than what she has been going through just to marry her love. Beth Ann says, I agree with you about postponing it. That's just my personal opinion. I personally would just rather have it exactly how I wanted it and postpone it. That's personally what I would do. But I also agree with Mrs. Pilling as well. I've just seen a comment who says, so romantic, a scaled back wedding. It could also be very romantic as well. But if that's not what she initially envisaged, if that was what she always envisaged, then okay, I can see that would kind of work out. But if she did want smaller than Eugenie's, but bigger than probably what she's going to get, somewhere kind of like in the middle, at least so a large amount of her friends and family could be there, then I personally would postpone it. But we shall see what goes on. Yeah, lots of people saying that their schools are closed. And yes, the Japanese state visit to the UK is also postponed and under review for when it can be rescheduled too. Auntie D says, what about the immunocompromised at the school? Pregnant ladies and people with underlying health conditions have been told to stay off from school. So that is at least one thing. And I think they are sending away children that are presenting any symptoms. Yes, I am wearing the York tiara. Just in case you were wondering, I am wearing the York tiara, which was made as a wedding gift for Sarah when she became the Duchess of York. Of course, she is now Sarah, Duchess of York, which is different. It is the divorced style of a duchess. Maria says, be safe. I am trying. I am trying my best. I really, really am. What brooch am I wearing? I've been wearing it for a few days. It's the Queen's flower basket brooch, and I really do like this one this time of year, going into spring. So I haven't bothered changing it. I just quite like it. Hello to Midnight Hazel. And yes, I agree. The York tiara is beautiful. Maureen says, breaking news apparently, the Education Minister is making a statement at 5 p.m. here in the UK. I hope they close the schools. I do too. My daughter went shopping for me today and not a lot of anything on the shelves. I'm 85 and isolated. It's a very worrying time. I went a few days ago to my local Sainsbury's supermarket. If you watch my upcoming vlog on Elliot's British Life, I vlogged the aisles. There is no tinned food. All the cans are gone. The freezer section is depleted. There is no toilet roll. And I know that's been a worldwide thing about toilet roll, but the shops are just selling out really, really fast. Some supermarkets have put limits in on how many of one type of product you can buy. Things are getting to the point where it's worrying, and I am worried now. I really, really am. Barbara says the brooch is very pretty and cheerful, and yes, I've noticed you've been wearing it lately. It is a cheery brooch for this time of year. It really is. A brooch for Easter. Yes, that's exactly what it is. Right. So I also wanted to talk about one other little thing today. So the Queen, as we know, is still at Buckingham Palace until tomorrow. So she leaves tomorrow to go to Windsor. She has been doing an engagement today, and I will copy the link to the official Twitter of it. So you can see a picture. So engagements are still going ahead within Buckingham Palace. Today's engagement was the Queen receiving the outgoing and incoming commanding officers for HMS Queen Elizabeth, Commodore Stephen Morehouse and Captain Angus Essenhigh. And you can see the Queen is wearing a beautiful, I'm going to say blue, because sometimes I get blue and really deep purple mixed up. To me, it looks blue. Some of you might be screaming purple, but to me, it looks blue. She's wearing her pearls. She has a bag with her. And she does look healthy. I will say that from the outset. She does look happy. She does look healthy. So I don't think we have to worry about the Queen. That is evidence that she is okay today. So I just thought I would share that with you all. Yeah. Corky Pond says her dress looks indigo. Should we just go with indigo? Isn't that a mix between purple and blue anyway? Let's just go with indigo. Jaden says, but Philip not so much. We haven't seen Philip, but I would imagine, I mean, basically he's been self-isolating, I think, for the past couple of years since his retirement. But we haven't heard that he's not okay. And I think when it comes to Philip, that's always a good thing, is that we haven't heard. No news is good news when it comes to Philip, I think. Oh, Juliet gets blue and green shades mixed up all the time. Barbara says it looks blue to you. Yeah. Jude says, have I heard the story that Prince Harry came into contact with you-know-what while he was in the UK? Apparently he and Meghan are self-isolating in Victoria. I did hear the story, but you can, if you've been out in anybody, if you've been out in public to a shop, a bar, a restaurant, a supermarket, anywhere, then you could potentially have been exposed to someone who had it. So yeah, I mean, I imagine they are isolating in Victoria, but we don't know if Harry did come into contact with anybody. So really, it's a bit of a non-story. Anybody could have come into contact with anybody who may have it. So I wouldn't go too much on that. Midnight Hazel says, yes, there's hoarding some weird products too. Oh, I couldn't even find a can of mushy peas. Yes, mushy peas were sold out. Some people had hoarded mushy peas. Yes, I know. Right, so I'm going to go now. I wanted to keep this kind of almost to the point. I don't think I've managed that. I think I've been ranting on about you-know-what going on in the world. But I wanted to keep this video about Princess Beatrice and obviously, you know, her reduced and scaled back wedding plans. As soon as I know any more about Princess Beatrice's plans, I will of course update you. Now, in probably 5 or 10 minutes, I will be going live on my Steps of Sussex channel. So if you're not a subscriber there, or you haven't hit the bell over there, do go and do that, because I will be popping on live to update about Harry and Meghan and their latest Instagram post. So if you've enjoyed this video on this channel, please give it a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to share on social media, and also do hit the bell so that you know whenever I upload a new video. Also, please do remember to subscribe to this channel. So from me, for now, in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and stay safe.